following podcast may contain adult language and an abundance of not Fosters. So get ready, nerds, because we're talking Wyrmwood Apocalypse. Welcome, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us on this episode of the Salt and Air Podcast. We're dedicating an entire week to Wyrmwood. I'm joined as always by my fantastic panel of nerds, the man who caused it all to happen. Matt Vader's here. What's up, dude? Moi.
I did this?
Yeah, you did. You were like, guys, check this fucking movie out.
I did. Yeah. I guess I found it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So check out this trailer for this crazy ass zombie shit.
And it was a trailer for Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And then we found out that there was a prequel,
movie,
or like an original movie.
We found the trailer for this movie that we're talking about today.
Yeah.
But it wasn't out yet.
Right.
Because we were going to review this movie first, I think, but we couldn't. So then I go, oh wait, there's another movie that was the predecessor to this one that we've already reviewed.
Yeah.
Man.
It's complicated.
Well, I'm sure Kadish has it all written down.
Yeah, I'm sure. It was bonkers. This is a crazy ass zombie series.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
Judah's also here.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And Matthew Kadish, who has the history of the podcast written down in his pocket. What's up, dude?
It's all up here, just like George R. Martin.
So did some things and some stuff.
Yeah, so we have an interesting history with this movie series. So as Vader explained, he was the one who brought it to us. He said, guys, there's this crazy zombie movie trailer with like a hot zombie in it and people using zombies to like work out and like run their cars and stuff.
Yeah.
And we have to check it out. And so we did a trailer reaction of Wyrmwood Apocalypse, and we were all like, wow, there is a hot zombie in it, and there's all types of crazy stuff. It looked like a cross between Peter Jackson's horror movies and Evil Dead and stuff like
Mad
that.
Max.
Yeah. And so we were like, this looks really cool. Like, we'll have to check this out. And we watched the original Wyrmwood movie, which was Wyrmwood Road of the Dead. We did a review on it. And that review got us some attention from the filmmakers of the movie, Kiah Roache-Turner, who was the writer and director of the film. And he kind of reached out to us and he was like, hey, thank you for, kind of covering the movie. I'm really glad you guys enjoyed it. And so we set up an interview with him. And it just so happened that right before our interview was scheduled to happen, the Wyrmwood Apocalypse movie came out in the States because it had been out in Australia for a while. And then like it finally made its way here to the States. And we watched it right before we did our interview with Kiah Roache-Turner. And so for the longest time, we thought that we had reviewed Wyrmwood Apocalypse, but it just so turns out that we watched it in time to talk to him about it. And so we covered both movies with him. And then we had a review with or an interview with Bianca Bradey, who plays the hot zombie in Wyrmwood Apocalypse. And
she has a name.
Brooke.
I literally said her name. But basically, for the longest time, we thought that we'd covered both movies, but it turns out that we actually never gave a proper review to Wyrmwood Apocalypse. And so what we're going to do in this episode is kind of do like a retrospective on Road of the Dead and then get into a proper review of Apocalypse. And we're also going to be releasing both interviews with the writer, director, and the actress who starred in these movies the same week that this episode drops. And so we're just going to be dedicating a whole week to our love of these crazy gonzo zombie movies.
It's Wyrmwood week.
It's Wyrmwood week, for sure. And I do want to say that I think not enough people know about these movies.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
We loved it so much. We have the poster in our studio constantly.
And there's even a funny story about that. So
that's a little mini tapestry.
Yeah, it's a tapestry.
It's just very far away.
It's very far away. So
Vader, you want to point to it?
Where's it at?
Everything's like weird.
Why are you using 2 hands?
How does technology work? Anyway,
How do my hands work?
So Vader called me. He's like, hey man, I really want a Wyrmwood poster for my background, because you have a bunch of posters in your background. So does Jude. And it was like, I want to replace one of them with a Wyrmwood. I'm like, that's a great idea. So I went online and tried to find a Wyrmwood poster. Nope. Fucking nowhere. Nope. I did find something that said Wyrmwood poster, but I didn't really look at the size. I just figured
jinky ass.
I was like,
Chinese.
I'm like
8 by 10.
I'm like, posters are all the same size, right, guys? And like, so I ordered it, and like a week and a half later, it came in the mail, and it was the size, like maybe 18 by 9. But it's on cloth too, which is also very strange.
Yeah.
I'm so intoxicated right now.
It's the same size as like the front of one of my t-shirts hanging up on
yeah.
there.
I mean, it would make a great t-shirt, to be honest with you.
It's this big.
Yeah, it's as big as Jude's boobs. Anyway.
Which is significant, to be fair.
Listen, trying to point at something that's little in your
there you go.
Oh my God, let it go.
When it's reversed in the thing. Yeah, dude.
Anyway. There's too much gin flowing.
Good job.
But we just want to bring attention to these movies because they're so freaking fun and bonkers. And the fact that we were able to reach out to the creators and some of the actors, like, and then they were like, yeah, we'll come and talk to you about it. Like, it's just, we want to share the love. We want to send it out there.
There are so very few movies out there that are independently made and funded and actually come to fruition that are of this quality and of this caliber that, you know, and this crazy and this nutso that it's sad to me that they get buried in the just society. And, you know, and this thing needs more eyes. We need a Wyrmwood 3.
Oh, for sure.
And we're not going to get a Wyrmwood 3 unless this thing gets more eyeballs on it. And it needs more eyeballs because these are very much, both these movies are awesome and they're worth watching. So check them out, guys.
So anyway, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back and we're going to do a quick retrospective of the first Wyrmwood movie. If you haven't seen it, we are going to spoil it. So I would definitely suggest heading over to whatever platform you can find it on. If it's at Amazon or whatever, you can rent it or purchase it. Head over there and support them. I think they are available on Apple. If you have an Apple device, go to Apple TV and they are available to purchase there. So we're going to come right back after this break and we're going to talk about the first movie and then we're going to get into our review of the second one. So stay tuned.
Oi! Can we come inside? There's fucking zombies everywhere! Yeah, guys.
Welcome back. Hey, if you want to support what we do here, you can go to saltynerd.com/DC and download a mobile game called Dragon Champions. And if you do download that mobile game, go to the promo code area and type in Salty for a bunch of free shit. You guys get a leg up on the competition. You get a free character, a bunch of extra money, and some rubies and some magical device bullshit things that you can help grow your characters and make them even cooler. And when you do get to level 20 by typing in that promo code Salty and helping you along your way, you can join our guild, which is ran by one of our patrons, JT. And that chat in our Discord is super active at the moment. We are going on raids all the time. Those guys over there are putting in some work. We've got a couple of patron members and a couple of podcast fans who have worked their way up to almost to level 80. I think I just saw a chat that said they're at 77. So join in. It's a really fun, easy to play game on your mobile device. Easy to pick up, put down, play it in your spare time or when you're sitting at the DMV or whatever you're doing. And you guys get to help us here at the podcast because the developers of this game love our podcast and we love them back. We want to have a little mutual back and forth, a little circle jerk. Anyway, all right, let's talk about Wyrmwood Road of the Dead. Jude, do you have a synopsis for that?
Well, I have it up on IMDb.
Okay.
It's very short, but I can give you the gist.
Go for it.
A talented mechanic prepares to battle his way through hordes of flesh-eating monsters after his sister is kidnapped on the eve of a zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
So our main character is Barry. His sister is Brooke.
Mm-hmm.
She's a photographer. And Barry teams up with Benny, and they go on a mission to save Brooke.
Yeah, so this is an Australian film, and it was shot on like the weekends and free time from money out of the filmmaker's pocket. So it was very much Peter Jackson, Bad Taste style production where it was just friends getting together in the weekend. And it's kind of funny because when you watch the movie, they introduce certain characters and then like the actors got like other gigs over like the 5 years it took them to make this movie. And so like they kill people off and replace them with other people. But the primary scenario of this movie is that there's some type of virus that strikes the earth. Certain people aren't affected by it, but everyone else turns into zombies. And these zombies are unique in the sense that they breathe methane, and at night they become super aggressive.
Mm-hmm. They expel methane. They don't.
They produce it
only during the day.
Methane.
Yeah.
So it's like a photosynthesis. I can't say that word. I'm too drunk to say that word.
but the fact that the movie takes place in Australia, it's got a very Australian kind of humor to it. Yeah. But it's also like completely like fucked up in the sense that like there's some crazy shit that happens in these movies, and it almost reminds you of like kind of like the Evil Dead style, like horror,
very much so,
combined with Peter Jackson style filmmaking. And the movies are very visually stunning, like visually, like they're very original. Kiah Roache-Turner does a great job with like his visuals, but also just like the creativity. Like we've never seen zombies like this before.
Yeah.
And that's what makes these movies special, is the fact that that they do a great job of world building. And on top of that, they get very creative with how the zombies are used.
We talked about like moments that are really fucked up in this story, and like immediately I go to what happens to
Barry's family.
Barry. Is it Barry or Benny? Yeah, Barry. Barry's family. So it starts off with like Barry's like hanging out with his wife and his daughter.
Yeah.
And that's like when the zombie apocalypse happens, some zombie comes into his house and bites his wife and his daughter or something like that. He bites one of them.
Bites the daughter.
Bites the daughter. And then they have to leave. So they're trying to get out of town. They're trying to go find his sister.
And they're wearing gas masks.
They're wearing gas masks to protect themselves from whatever fumes are out in the world, causing these people to go rabid. And his daughter slowly starts changing in the back seat. And I remember just like, I'm a dad, so this shit fucks me up really quickly and really easily. So like while I'm watching this scene and this man is driving his wife and his daughter's in the back seat, turning into a zombie actively, bites his wife starts turning into a zombie, and he has to freaking kill them both.
Well, no, I don't think she bites the mom. I think what happens is the mom takes her gas mask off.
Oh, does she get infected? Is that what?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And she instantly, and basically the what part of the world building here is that a certain blood type is immune to whatever zombie virus is out there, but everyone else, whether they're bitten or whatnot, just turns into a zombie. And so all the people of a certain blood type kind of band together, and the main character on this, Barry, he tries to commit suicide by taking off his mask, but nothing happens to him.
Yeah.
Then he teams up with Benny, who's an Aboriginal who had to kill his brothers that he was on walkabout with.
Yes.
And so you have Benny and Barry who team up, and they decide that they have to go save Brooke, who is Barry's sister. And she's been kidnapped by a group of military people who are doing weird experiments on zombies. And that's the real fucked up part of that show.
Oh, yeah, the back of the trailer when they're like doing experiments on people to try to figure out what's going on. Like the dark, gritty, gross version of this movie is perfectly like balanced with the New Zealand, Australian humor, because Benny's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I can't hold a rifle and my massive cock at the same time, Frank.
He's so funny. And there's moments where you're like, this movie's really dark, but there's moments like that one where they walk up to the shed or whatever that
they're surrounded by
zombies. And they're like, hey, can I come in there? And he's like,
yeah,
all right. And it's just, I love it, man. It's so perfectly done.
And there's a scene where a guy gets bitten and he gets the first aid kit and he opens it up, and instead of bandages or like gauze or like whatever, it's 2 beers.
It's 2 beers, which we found out from the director is Victoria Bitters. Because one of the questions I always have for like local Australian people is like, here in the States, Foster's is like sold as the Australian beer.
That's
and they're like, nah, that's fucking piss, mate.
They're like, we have to sell it to you because no one will drink it.
I get it. I like cheap beer.
Yeah, I like cheap beer too. I've had Foster's before. I didn't think it was that bad, but apparently it's way worse than Victoria Bitters.
Vader does love his skunky beers.
He does. Yeah, he does like Pabst Blue Ribbon and shit like that.
PBR, Coors.
PBR.
I wonder if it comes in a cool little glass bottle. I'm okay. I don't care.
So. Anyway, I just the humor from the Australian point of view mixed in with like just the dark, gritty world that this takes place in, I think is like a perfect balance for just one of those zany, crazy movies. I had a blast with the first one. I was on board.
I think there should be 6 of these.
Yeah, go ahead, V.
So you know what initially drew me to this was I saw the trailer, and I immediately thought, oh my God, this is Mad Max mixed with a zombie movie, and it's pretty much, yeah, sort of, kind of what it is, but that's how it plays off when you watch the trailer initially, and it's crazy bonkers. I mean, they go heavily weird into like gross body fluid shit.
Oh yeah,
and you know, I mean, just they changed the rules for zombies in this thing, you know, and that's what I like about this movie is it's like they take the zombie trope and they turn it inside out and they flip it on its head. And I appreciate that because this is not your Romero.
Yeah, and what's hilarious is like, so the zombie blood is flammable. Yeah, and they expel methane. Yeah. And so like because society has collapsed, they have to rely on the zombies to power like their vehicles and like their generators and stuff like that. And so you get really creative uses of like zombies in this movie because like they hook them up to their car, and like when they expel methane, the engine combusts it and like it runs the car. But then like the minute night hits, the sun goes down, the zombies stop expelling methane and they're kind of trapped in their car at night, and the zombies become like super aggressive. And the military in these movies is like super evil. And like really bizarre, and like they're shoving stuff up people's noses and scrambling their brains.
Well, the thing is, I don't think this is even like the official military. This is like some kind of weird.
It's like a faction.
It's definitely a government faction.
Yeah, but it's like it's like it gets very video gamey when it comes to these guys.
For sure.
You know, I feel like the doctor dudes are
in
like
the yellow suit.
They feel like in bosses to me, like in a level of Doom,
or
something. You know, and they have these henchmen that are like out there like trying to gather people and Barry's just trying to like navigate the video game.
Dude,
does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes 100%. Yeah, I'm on board with that 100%.
That's very Doom-like.
Makes sense.
So,
yeah, and we should point out that in Road to the Dead, the Bianca character or Brooke.
Mm-hmm.
So like she spends half the movie kind of locked up in the back of this truck, and she's being experimented on by the Surgeon General, and he like injects her with like zombie blood and all this other stuff, and she becomes what's called a hybrid.
Yeah.
And she's able to control full zombies like psychically, and so she becomes like the zombie queen.
Yeah, so they accidentally turn her into like the zombie queen.
Yeah, and
she's super zombie.
Yeah,
and she actually, even though she's a zombie, she like retains like like her personality and thoughts and stuff.
And she turns the tables by using that superpower that she like. So she's locked up in this freaking moving caravan of torture,
and they just stay on the move. So
they stay on the move so that nobody can capture them. And she starts to like realize that she can manipulate the zombies, and she does enough to turn the tables so that she can kill the big bad boss in the yellow suit and then escape. And I just
and that's when she almost died.
Yeah, we'll talk about
So it was a stunt girl.
Yeah, it was a stunt girl in the interview that we talked with the director, that he was like, yeah, one of the stunts almost went real bad. So you guys will get the inside info on that coming up pretty soon. But it was such a bonkers freaking movie, dude. I loved it. I was on board 100%. I love the video game reference though. It does feel like a video game. Yeah, for sure. No, I fell in love with it. Like you pointed out to me, and I'm always on the lookout for some freaking bonkers ass movie. Like I love things that are not the norm.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong. I love zombie movies, World War Z, 28 Days Later, 30 Days of Night, like these, or that's a vampire movie.
There was that goofy World War II one we watched too. That was
Overlord.
Overlord. Yeah.
That was awesome.
So the thing I really like about this movie is that, so I'm a big fan of early Peter Jackson stuff, Bad Taste, Dead Alive, stuff like that. And this has that low budget Australian horror movie feel to it, because it was a low budget Australian horror movie, and it shows, but like that lends some of its charm to the movie. And so like, I think that's what makes it special in a way. And when we get into talking about Apocalypse, they were able to translate that feeling to that movie, even though it had a bigger budget and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if you're a fan of that type of thing, like the early Peter Jackson kind of like gross out horror movies, this is definitely up your alley.
Yeah, for sure.
This is better.
We reviewed this movie though, right?
Yeah, we did. One last thing I want to mention is the big ending battle scene between Barry, Benny, and Brooke, and then the twin that we get to.
So his name was the captain.
Captain. Anyway, that ending battle with Benny, who sacrifices himself to save Brooke and Barry. There's too many B's, man.
Brooke, Barry, Benny.
Yeah, but
Brooke, Barry, and Benny.
At the end of Road of the Dead, the captain is like the main bad guy, and he's like leading a squad of soldiers, and Barry has to protect Brooke from him because he's out to kill the zombies.
And one of the greatest moments in that movie, as far as I'm concerned, is when Brooke takes a bullet to the chest, and she's like full zombie
bullet
queen.
To the boob.
Bullet to the boob. She's full zombie queen at this moment. She like digs in, pulls it out, and she looks up and her eyes are all white. She's like, fuck you. She freaking sends the zombies after him. I freaking love that shit.
Oh yeah, I love her little boss move.
Yeah.
She's just like,
Dope. Awesome. Anyway, so that's our retrospective, really quick review. If you want our full breakdown of that movie, it is available. Go back and watch it. It's available in our YouTube channel. Check the playlist for.
I'm sure it'll be linked below.
Yeah, there will be
here.
Down here.
It's not going to be anywhere. It's going to be in the description. All right.
It's going to be in the description below.
It's going to be down here.
Right there, baby.
Go look for it.
Go look for it. God, we're so goofy.
Guys are asking me to put title cards in our video.
How dare
What
you?
type of time do you think I have?
How dare you
Obsessed all the
produce
time.
something?
It's too much work. It's too much work. Anyway, you can find it. The link will be below for the official review of that movie. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to dive into the sequel, Wyrmwood Apocalypse. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I hate this face.
That's it. The face. The face is a real problem.
Welcome back, everybody. Hey, if you guys want to support what we do here at the podcast, you can go to saltynerdclub.com and join our club members area. We have a shit ton of awesome content that you can go and check out regarding all classic sci-fi shows like Star Trek, the original series, Doctor Who, Stargate Atlantis. We recently did Buck Rogers in the 25th century, and we are right now for the month of October covering Battlestar Galactica. So head over there to saltynerdclub.com to get access to all of that amazing content and so much more. That's saltynerdclub.com. $5 a month gets you a shit ton of stuff. All right.
Shit ton?
Shit ton.
A shit ton.
Bigger than metric. It's
Wow.
one loud.
Is that bigger than a crap ton?
It's an actual measurement.
Yes. It might be.
All right.
All right. Wyrmwood Apocalypse. Jude, do you have a synopsis for this movie?
I do. Sorry.
Excellent.
I can't wait for this. This is going to be amazing.
Oh, I didn't write it. I
I
just have the
didn't?
IMDb.
Okay.
Oh.
I can't believe that we haven't reviewed this movie yet, but go ahead.
I know, right?
Wyrmwood Apocalypse, 2021, with a runtime of 1 hour 28 minutes. Picking up shortly after the bloody events of Wyrmwood Road of the Dead, battle-seasoned Barry and his zombie whisperer hybrid sister Brooke find themselves struggling to survive in the barren, post-apocalyptic wasteland. In the meantime, Reese, a reclusive military man, does his part collecting fine specimens for the surgeon and ridding the zombie-plagued Australian outback of the Walking Dead. However, as the deranged scientist tries to find a cure, a chance encounter with sisters and fierce warriors Maxie and Grace will lead to more violence. Now, Brooke is the ultimate prize. Can the world survive the impending zombie apocalypse?
So real quick, I want to point out that the first movie, out of pocket, the filmmakers, I think, spent between 15 and 30 grand filming it. And then they got a grant from the Australian government for like $300,000 to like finish up the film. And with this movie, based off of the success of the first film, they actually tried to pitch a original series to like Netflix or something like that.
Totally watch
Yeah,
that.
it was called Wyrmwood Chronicles of the Dead. It was a proposed 10-episode TV series. They even shot like a kind of concept piece for it, which you can find on YouTube. And it's basically like a scene right from Wyrmwood Apocalypse. But it was basically meant to kind of like entice networks to pick it up.
We should do a reaction to that.
I think we did.
Yeah,
Didn't we?
No, I don't think we did actually. We did a reaction to the trailer for Wyrmwood Apocalypse, but this movie had a budget of around $2 million based off of the success of the first one. So basically, they just took their idea for the TV show and once they got the funding, transitioned it into the plot for this movie.
You can absolutely tell
Oh, yeah.
that they used that budget well. Like immediately the quality is up, is ramped up a lot. They've got a bigger budget to deal with like cars and all this stuff. Because of the first movie, they had that one little like Jeep car that they had that with all the metal on it and shit like that. This one, they have multiple cars, way more characters, way more budget to spend on effects and all that stuff. So
Well, they got cooler intro graphics.
yeah,
They got better music. Everything that they had,
Yeah.
they just kind of turned the volume up a little
Yeah.
bit.
And I got to give a shout out to the set design and the costume design in this movie because
Epic.
like it's really well done, especially for like such a small budget.
yeah, absolutely.
And like how Reese's whole compound is like
Oh,
rigged
dude.
with so many different like
So good.
devices attached to zombies.
The introduction to this character, who we haven't seen yet in the first movie, is amazing. Like
Yeah.
we get like this this
We
round
kind of
table.
saw him in the first movie.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's the same
Different
actor,
character.
same
Well,
actor.
Okay, so I just got to point this out before we get into it. So the main character of this movie are not Brooke and Barry. They actually don't show up until about halfway through this film. So the new main character is a character called Reese, and he's played by the same actor who played the main bad guy in the first movie, the colonel or the commander or whatever,
Captain.
the captain. So like the captain dies in the first movie, and the filmmakers were like, well, we really liked working with actors, so we're just going to bring him back. And then it's like, how do you bring him back? Oh, he's the twin brother of the bad guy.
Revenge.
Perfect.
But they don't tell you that until about 10, 15 minutes into the movie. So the entire time you're watching this movie and you're like, that guy died in the last movie.
What's going on here?
And then eventually they're like, your twin brother got killed by these terrorist guys. Are you going to go after them?
It's a twist.
But they just like the actor. So they're like, we'll make you a twin brother. We'll
I'm in.
But here's the thing, man. It doesn't bother me at all.
Not in the least.
Not even the slightest little bit.
Yeah, these movies do not take themselves seriously.
No, but they have so much fun. And that's what that opening sequence where we get introduced to this character. He's got his own little like compound. He's got his trailer where he sleeps in, and then outside the trailer, he's got some zombies that are breathing methane to power his generator, and then he's using one of them to freaking like chase chickens or some shit. And then
he uses their methane to light his grill so he can like cook dinner.
Yes, he's cooking dinner off of methane zombie freaking breath.
And he's got the his gate that's also powered by zombie generator.
Yeah.
He puts a bird cage on a zombie's head so he can like box with it.
This is like
it's part of his fitness.
Yeah.
It's just some straight up like a Gilligan's Island professor shit. I mean,
for sure.
Yeah, this is post-apocalyptic professor.
Yeah, for sure.
This is compound, and it works great.
And he always has like random zombies like trying to get into his compound. So like when one zombie dies,
he just replaces it with another one.
It's like swapping out a battery.
Come over here, gets his little dick.
Yeah, he's got like cut up meat, and he's like, "Come on, get it."
Yeah, come and get it. Here,
gotcha.
take this.
But what's interesting about the character Reese is like he actually goes around hunting survivors because he's under the impression that the military that he's working with is looking for some type of cure to the zombie virus. And they need healthy people. Yeah. And he thinks he's just delivering them to him and they're being like well treated. But the Surgeon General, who's like in charge of like this military compound where they're experimenting on stuff, is actually like really sadistic. And he basically just kills all these people that Reese brings him.
Well, it turns out like later in this movie that the Surgeon General is actually already zombified to a point.
Yeah, they're all infected.
Yeah, and he's infected with the zombie virus, and he's using the like brain juice from healthy people to stave off his zombieism.
Here's the thing.
Go ahead.
Everybody in this show is infected.
Pretty much.
Everybody's everybody. There's different levels of infection, and the zombie juice, the human juice from the guys that he takes that down and
renders it
down into some happy juice, and he takes it and it tempers his zombiedom a little bit.
So one of the plot points of this movie is that they take healthy people and basically like drain all like the juices from them, grind down their bones, and they turn them into like pills. And these pills are preventative, and basically they prevent you from like turning into a zombie if you don't have the proper blood. That
A negative or something
like that.
Affected or whatever.
One of the weird things about this movie though, and they don't really explain it in the movie, we actually had to get the director to confirm this for us, is that a lot of the hybrid zombies, like if they start turning full zombie and they're losing control, they take shots of blood to kind of bring them back. And when we first watched this movie, we were like, what is that stuff that they're drinking?
I thought it was like a drug or something.
Yeah,
but
and
it's just blood.
It turns out that it's blood from the uninfected people. Right. So like if you have natural immunity to the zombie virus, it's a vial of the blood that just has the natural immunity in it and brings you back. They never explain this in the movie. So like we had to actually hear it from the director himself and be like, oh yeah, that's what it's about. So like, it's not a big deal, but at the same time, you're just kind of like, well, it'd be nice to know.
Take our word for it, though.
It's fine.
You can rely on this information.
It's like, I have a hard time being super critical about a movie like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
they don't take themselves seriously, and you just kind of like, you go into this movie, you're just kind of along for the ride. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you even mentioned like this feels like a movie that like you would walk through at a haunted horror movie house down at the Circus or some shit.
Absolutely.
And it just feels like you're walking through this world.
The Surgeon General's lab is basically a horror. It's basically a haunted house room.
And even his costume, which is consistent with the first movie's costume with like that yellow hazmat suit.
If you got the yellow guys in a blood splattered yellow
you're the bad
suits,
guy.
You're done. You're crazy.
Yeah.
And it's a great effect.
I love it. It's freaky as hell.
Yeah.
And I probably shouldn't mention this, but considering what the Australian government has done over the last 2.5 years or so,
bonkers.
And then like putting it up against this movie, and I'm like, fuck, that ain't far from the truth, man. Like they're like taking people from their homes and putting them in camps and shit like that. I'm like, God damn it, dude, that's not a far stretch from the truth. So it adds a little layer for me, especially with the whole freaking COVID thing lately. But I love this movie. We haven't mentioned the two newcomers to this movie, which are Benny's two nieces, I think, right? Are they both related to him, or is just one?
No, they're sisters.
They're sisters.
They're sisters.
Yeah.
So they're both Benny's nieces from the first movie, and they mentioned that they're teamed up with Brooke and Barry at the very beginning of this movie because our uncle said these people were cool, so like hanging out with them, but then they shortly realized that Brooke's kind of fucking insane, and they're like, we need to get the hell out of here.
Brooke infects Maxie.
Yeah. What was that?
I'm going to be a little nerd.
Yeah.
Here. I'm going to nitpick a little bit. How did Benny tell his nieces that these people were cool when he just met Barry out in the wilderness after he shot his brother?
Don't worry about it, Mike.
It don't matter. Because, then he was dead shortly after that.
Then he's dead. Well,
he never saw his nieces in that time frame.
Well, when he was chained to the car at the end, he wrote a little note before he became a zombie.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, that's it.
Brooke and Barry are cool.
Gotcha. All right.
Actually, Benny's twin brother went and told his nieces.
Yes, there you go.
I would love to have Benny's twin brother come back in Wyrmwood 3 because I loved Benny.
I think Benny wasn't available.
Yeah, he was off doing some other project, I think they said. Yeah. I would love to have Benny back.
But the thing is about this kind of a movie is like there's that nitpick there that I just brought up.
It
don't matter.
It doesn't matter.
I don't really care.
Because it doesn't take away from your enjoyment at all.
I mean, the howling doesn't make sense either, but it's still just good, clean fun.
But these two female actresses who are in this movie, they kill it, man. I love watching them. They're so savage. They like Brooke's character, who's played by Bianca Bradey, like she set this bar for like female badass zombie chicks, and these two newcomers to this movie, like they were like, all right, let's freaking do it.
I mean, honestly, this Bianca Bradey, Brooke, her entire character arc is she just gets bloody and growls at the camera. She has very few lines, and she just gets these really super intense looks on her face and goes like this.
Yeah.
A lot.
But it's great.
But it's awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
It's cool.
It's awesome.
And you know what's hilarious is that like we interviewed her and in real life, she's just like this very zen yoga lady.
Yeah. She's a yoga instructor.
Yeah.
And she's over here in this movie.
She's an expert level, like black belt yoga.
She's like, she's like to chill out on the beach and do my yoga and hang out and do stuff.
She's at peace with the world, but then in this movie, she's a complete savage.
I know, she just travels the world teaching yoga to people in real life.
Yeah, she actually quit acting so she could become a professional yoga instructor.
What a freaking job.
I know, right?
But she came back for the Wyrmwood movie.
And she said that if there was a 3, she'd come back for it.
Oh yeah, I hope so. God.
We have to have this.
Absolutely.
I need a third one.
I want that series.
So I am going to dump a little salt on this movie.
Don't you dare.
In the sense that it's very odd for a sequel to kind of like give up its original protagonist. So like the protagonist from the first movie is basically Barry and his sister. And then in this movie, we get one scene with them at the beginning, and then they're gone for like half the movie. And we spend all of our time with Reese, and we're introduced to this new character, and we're introduced, and basically we spend time with him. And the entire time I was watching this movie, the first time around, I was like, why? Like, I want more Barry and Brooke.
Yeah.
You know, like I felt like I was being shortchanged. And then like they come back for the second half of the movie, and it's good again.
We should probably not spoil the end of Apocalypse, because don't we want people to watch it and experience it for themselves?
I mean,
it's what we do though.
I just mean the final scene.
Okay, all right.
Well, I mean, we spoil it in the interview with Kiah Roache-Turner anyway.
They still need to watch the movie, even if they know what happens.
Definitely watch it.
Yeah, I mean, even if they know what happened. Like, this is a movie where, like, even if you know what happens, it doesn't ruin your enjoyment of the movie, because, like, every scene in this movie is bonkers crazy.
Yeah.
And fun.
Yeah.
Especially like at the end when they're fighting like, you know, like the
cyborg.
Can we talk about the cyborg zombie? Are we there yet? I think we're there.
I think so.
I don't think we have to follow any particular roadmap with this movie.
Anyway, so most of the main characters get captured by the Surgeon General, and they get taken down into this crazy bunker. Yeah. And there's a rescue mission to rescue one of the girls from the Surgeon General. So Brooke, Barry.
Well, one of the sisters gets captured.
Yeah, one of the sisters, and then the other sisters, and Luke. The actor's name is Luke. I can't remember.
Luke McKenzie.
Right, Reese.
Yeah, Reese go and say, okay, we're going to go rescue this girl.
So Reese captures one of the sisters, turns her into the dudes, thinking he's like a good guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Realizing he's not.
And then he runs in.
Somebody fucks up and says, she's going to end up in a barrel anyway.
Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah. And
then the sister, Maxie, right?
Yeah.
Like she infiltrates his compound, takes him prisoner to get her sister back.
Yeah. And then he realizes that this whole time he's been handing over innocent people to these butchers.
Yeah. So wait, Maxie is the one who is in the bunker. Grace is the one, because Grace isn't infected,
Well,
and they want the hybrid.
Okay. Go ahead.
he captures her.
Yeah.
And then she flips the script on him.
Right. Yeah. It's been, I got to watch this movie again.
Just like 2 days ago.
And she hands him over to Brooke and Barry, and they're like, I want to eat his face. It's like, wait, his face is familiar. Didn't I kill you already?
That was my twin brother.
But then at the same time, Reese has been trying to find Brooke and Barry.
Yeah.
Because his
He
whole
wants
mission in life
revenge.
is they killed his brother and he wants revenge on them.
Yeah.
So then there's
Like a whole soap opera happening in the middle of this zombie apocalypse.
And then
But
they
anyway,
have to work together.
Yeah,
because
but anyway-
it's the end of the world.
they go on this rescue mission. They go down to this bunker, and that's where shit gets weird. So
and the bunker is basically what the TV pilot thing that they shot was.
Right. Yeah. And they go down there, and the Surgeon General has been exploring different ways of controlling zombies. So he can't be like Brooke and do like the psychic connection to him. So instead, he built apparently a zombie cyborg robot
It's some real Resident Evil
with
shit.
a with a fucking VR set. He's sitting there with like a Oculus 3, like fighting Brooke through another zombie that has like all this mechanical shit.
It's so awesome.
It's so bonkers,
It's such
dude.
B-movie shit. It is
It
unreal.
really
The funny thing about the Surgeon General is like he pulls a Bruce Campbell where like it got into his hand and went bad at like a certain point his hand just like starts operating on its own.
Oh, I
yeah,
forgot
and he
about
like-
that.
God.
And he's like, just a cramp.
Can you imagine, and I thought the Surgeon General was great in this. He was awesome. But Bruce Campbell.
I would love it if Bruce
As
Campbell showed up.
As the Surgeon General in
Dude,
3.
if these guys,
Wait, Bruce Campbell, but Bruce Campbell in Escape from LA.
Oh my God.
if I would absolutely love it if these guys got the attention of Peter Jackson and then Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi, just like did this massive team up.
Make it happen.
Fuck yes, dude. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
But the final battle sequence between Brooke and the cyborg zombie was just so fun and goofy and weird and gruesome. And I just, this movie's just fun from start to finish.
Yeah.
Like I'm never not interested in what's happening on screen.
It's fun and gross and crazy.
Yeah.
And
Perfect for spooky season.
it's
that's right. It's October.
It's
isn't it?
October.
Yeah, perfect.
Halloween's a coming.
Go check that shit out.
Yeah, you know, when you think about zombie movies, you think about stuff like Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
You think about
Walking Dead.
you think about The Walking. I don't think about The Walking Dead all that much anymore.
Is it still on? It's still on.
Yeah, and they got like a ton of spinoffs and stuff like that. But
Fucking Let It
I
Die.
think of like Train to Busan and stuff like that. And now I think about these movies because these aren't your typical zombie movies. Like these are gonzo, crazy splatterpunk horror adventure films that are just so full of creativity. Like I'm surprised that not more people are into these movies.
I just don't think they've been marketed well.
I agree.
Well, I don't think they have the budget to market it properly. I
It's
think
just
if
like,
they
these are the movies. These movies are going to depend entirely
On word of mouth.
stuff like
Yeah.
what we're doing here.
yeah.
Everybody that watches this video needs to go out and make a video review of their own if they have a YouTube channel
Yeah.
or
Blow it up on Instagram or
podcast
TikTok. Yeah.
or an Instagram or
Yeah.
YouTube channel or a Twitter. Anything you guys can do to at or hashtag Wyrmwood needs to be done because
WYR.
WYRM.
Yeah, there's another Wyrmwood that's spelled on Amazon. Don't watch that movie.
That's completely different.
That's a horseshit movie.
Because I mean, there is a lot of shit movie projects out there that are just garbage.
This is the one that deserves some
But
attention.
this is one of those ones that needs to be explored more.
Yeah.
It really does. It deserves people
and
to watch.
you guys know how much of a stickler I am for like the storytelling and the writing and stuff like that. And I'll say this as you know, kind of like haphazard they are with like their internal story logic and stuff like that. These movies are actually very well written. They're
and
very
the
well structured.
world created is so much fun.
Yeah, and the characters are fun. Like you like all the characters, even like the fucked up bad guys. Like you're just like, oh yeah, I'm into it.
The Surgeon General has a bit of a craziness to him that you kind of like dig, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah,
all right,
for
this
sure.
guy's
Like off the wall bonkers.
He's like a Marvel villain.
Yeah.
That's exactly
Really
it.
fucked up Marvel villain.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing I don't like about these movies. They're so fun. I think originally I may have criticized the special effects just due to budgetary restrictions that they had for the first movie. But I think they fixed a lot of that with the second one with just a $2 million budget. I can't even imagine how much freaking fun these guys would have.
And visually, Apocalypse is really good looking.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
For a horror movie.
It's like, imagine if they gave these guys like $25 million.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, going to Sydney. Let's see what's happening in the town.
Oh, dude, can you imagine going into a city?
God. Yeah.
Oh,
dude, this is gonna be wild.
Could you imagine them being handed the reins to the Resident Evil franchise?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. I mean, and you know,
what is
there's
Peter
a lot
Jackson doing these days?
He's like living off his Lord of the Rings money.
No, he's going there watching the Rings of Power going, God damn it.
I remember Kiah saying something about, we asked him what he's doing now. And he said, what did he say? He said, like, oh, I'm going to go get a job at the bakery or some shit. I don't know what it was exactly.
Did he really?
But it wasn't making movies.
Yeah. Well, this is a passion project for him.
Yeah.
He needs to be making movies.
Yeah. Him and his brother, for sure.
Him and his crew.
Somebody
need
give this
to be
man
making
money.
movies. Yes. Because he's being wasted out there doing whatever the fuck it is he's doing otherwise.
Yeah, he's a very talented kind of like indie filmmaker.
Yeah.
I know that him and his brother were working on some movie in between Road of the Dead and Apocalypse that didn't get off the ground. And that's when they pivoted over to the TV show idea. And then like they ended up making this movie. But I know that he's got I think he's got a third script written for the Wyrmwood movies. But
because he wouldn't tell us anything.
we kept trying to find out more about it. And he was just like,
nah.
Yeah. He's like, no, it's really good. Trust me.
Let me posit this question.
Yeah.
If he did get like a big budget, would it ruin this?
No.
Would it take away from what this is, or
if you look at the first movie had like barely any budget, what'd you say, $30,000, something like that, and then this one had $2 million, and everything that we loved about the first one just got amped up in the second one. I think the same would be true.
It's like, but don't we want to see something else other than them just running around on the same road out in the outback?
Oh no, I don't want middle of the forest bullshit. I want, like you said, I want them to go into Sydney.
I need some world building going on.
I need some exploring, like what's happening.
Not a zombie.
Is that dude still alive? Is Crocodile Dundee still alive?
I think so.
Need to fucking get him in a movie.
Oh my God.
Yes. That's not a zombie. That's a zombie.
I'll show
That's
you a
some
zombie.
fucking hulking Matt.
I think it's safe to say though that all four of us are big fans of this.
Huge fans. Huge. Yeah, we've been gushing too much.
I just want more Bianca Bradey.
Yeah, absolutely.
As
Bring
the
her
hot
back.
zombie.
Yeah. Come on, yoga.
Are we going to grade this thing, or do we care?
God, I don't know if I care. I mean, I would say 5-star, but that seems like it's not honest.
Do you like Road of the Dead or Apocalypse more?
I think I like Apocalypse more because I enjoy Brooke and Barry. I enjoy Brooke and I can't remember his name. Barry. Sorry, so much gin.
The brother and sister.
The brother and sister. I enjoy them as side characters almost.
Okay.
Like they were cool in the first movie as like the main characters, but in this one, I really like this new guy. He's freaking cool, and he's got that action star vibe. He's very muscular, big dude, militaristic. Like I would like to follow him and then have him be like punctuated with the nutso craziness of Brooke being the zombie queen.
Yeah. And what's funny is at the end of this movie, Reese is about to kill himself after he defeats the Surgeon General, because basically he's infected and he's going to turn into a zombie once he stops taking the pills. And the sisters stop him from shooting himself in the head. And they're like, no, you're going to keep taking those pills and you're going to help us.
You're going to get your humanity back.
Yeah. And that's how you're going to redeem yourself for all the deaths you caused.
Yeah.
But like when he turns, he's going to be a hybrid too, right?
We don't know that for sure. He might not even turn.
He got infected by a hybrid, right?
That's true.
No. He wasn't infected by a hybrid. What happened was basically he's just a normal human. And he's infected by the zombie virus. And so he'll turn into a zombie once he stops taking those pills.
Okay.
The only reason he didn't turn into a zombie is because like they were on this like preventative pill regiment that the Surgeon General put him on.
Maxie needs to bite him quick.
Dude, what if they have Like Australia is famous for its like deadly animals, right?
Yeah.
Like, are the animals infected? Is there going to be a zombie crocodile?
Mashup between zombies and The Mist.
It's a zombie croc.
Seriously, zombie crocodile with Paul Hogan out there as the Crocodile Dundee. He comes back. This is Crocodile Dundee 6.
You guys forget, he just goes up to the zombies and he's like,
you forget something, man.
What's up, dude?
Crocodile Dundee movies were made in like the 80s.
He's old now.
He's old as fuck now. He's probably.
Oh my God, he rides in on an elephant.
He's probably 97 years old.
Let me see. Is he as old as fucking Clint Eastwood?
I have no idea, but he's old. It ain't gonna work. But
Paul Hogan age. Let me just Google it. 82.
82.
Looking good.
Yeah, okay.
Probably still works out every day.
Look at that dude.
Oh my God,
he's as old as the people running our country. So
this is true.
They're basically zombies anyway. All right, let's finish this up. The Wyrmwood Apocalypse. Give it a rating.
I don't know how
if
to
you
rate
even
this.
have one.
I don't know how to rate it.
In the realm of zombie movies.
Oh, in the realm of zombie movies?
Or you can put it in the realm of movies that have come out in the last couple years.
I mean, listen,
I mean, this is your bag, right?
I know, right?
This is your type of movie.
This is my type of movie. But I can't give it a 5-star rating just because it's not Indiana Jones. Let's be real here, okay?
All right.
It's not Raiders of the Lost Ark. But
is it a 5-star indie movie?
How does it compare to Train to Busan, for instance?
Oh, no. Oh, God, I don't know. I mean, Train to Busan's like what I want this movie to turn into.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I want to see a $50 million Wyrmwood movie.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, I would easily give this on an independent, fun, cheaply made zombie movie. It's easily 4 stars.
Okay.
I think that's where I'm going to land, is about 4 stars. Everybody needs to watch this movie. Everybody needs to support this movie. We need to get the word out about these flicks, because the director, the writer, the guy who makes these movies has already told us, and you guys will see it in the interview. If it's not, I don't know how we're releasing these, but he says we need support.
Mm-hmm.
We need word of mouth. We need this to be out there in the public zeitgeist to get people's attentions to fund another movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, even if they had to do like a crowdfunding or something, I think he said he didn't want to do a crowdfunding project.
Yeah, we asked him about that, and he was very much like, we can't do crowdfunding on this.
But it needs to happen. I need a 3. I want a big budget Wyrmwood 3. I really do. And it's easily a 4-star movie on the independent zombie level. It rewrites what zombie movies are.
That's what I love about it.
You know, it changes the rules, and it makes it's a completely different zombie universe, and it's fun. I like the methane.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Zombies.
You
They're
still have
nuts.
friends at Apple TV? Like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I could easily see this thing on something like Peacock or Plex, or one of those.
What's that horror? Shudder.
Shudder.
Oh, what if Shudder picked it up with some money?
Shudder series? Or something like, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah, 4 stars.
Jude, final thoughts. Give it a rating.
I can't remember what I gave Road of the Dead. I want to say I either gave it 4 or 5 stars, based on the realm of like an indie
because you put it in
horror movie.
Individual. Yeah.
And my experience of watching these 2 movies, Road of the Dead, shook me. It was so original, and I loved it. When I went into Apocalypse, I kind of knew the world that I was getting into, so it didn't have the same effect on me. So I would say, do I like Road of the Dead or Apocalypse more? Road of the Dead, the first one for me, had that much more like, oh my God,
visceral
experience
reaction
watching it. That being said, like, you guys are absolutely right. Like, everything's better in this movie. It looks better. The soundtrack, the characters are a little more fleshed out. The fact that they reused the same actor, they were like twin brothers, soap opera rules. I love it, and I still think that this is a great couple of movies, and I 100% would love to see more. I wish that series had gotten made, and I hope that it maybe still will, or that we get another one, that we could have 3 of these. I think there should be 1 million of these. It's such a fun world that has been built. So I'm gonna go 4 VB beers out of 5.
Cool. Right on. Kadish, final thoughts. Give it a rating.
All right. So this movie, there was a scene in this movie that made me hate the movie.
What?
When I first saw it. And that was when Barry and Brooke die, basically. It looks like they get blown up. And then at the end of the movie, they come walking out like bosses, both full zombie. And they just come out of the smoking ruins of the Surgeon General bunker. And they're just like, fuck yeah. And then like the movie ends.
They're like really cool still on fire.
They're still smoldering. Their faces are all fucked up. And they're like,
they just should have put some Guns N' Roses to it or something.
No.
But the minute that they came back and they showed that they weren't dead, I was like, okay, I'm back on board with Wyrmwood. Because I wasn't a big fan of Reese. I wanted more like Barry and Brooke. So this movie, like it's a fun movie. It did surprise me and it was very well made. I still think Road of the Dead is the better film. It's just like a cooler movie. But this movie is fun and the visual style is very unique and the storyline is very original and how they utilize the zombies. Like I said, I've never seen zombies like this in any other movie. So it's very impressive. And the fact that like we got to talk to the filmmaker and we got like, his insights into the film and like how it was made and what he hopes will happen in the future and stuff like that. It's just, it's a cool thing to me.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a 4-star movie for me. Like I'm landing more like 3 stars for this film because like it's a good film. It's enjoyable, but it's not like, I'm just not a horror movie guy. So like, it's not something where I'm like, oh, I want to watch it again and again and again. But when I do watch it, I am constantly amazed at how well made these movies are. And I think this is a movie where if you watched Wyrmwood Apocalypse and not Road of the Dead, you'd still understand what was happening.
Still have a great time.
And still have a good time, doing it. And I think that this is a great October movie because like if you're looking for some crazy horror movies that aren't like scary, because this movie is not scary, but it is kind of like gross.
It's very gross. There's people in barrels, dude.
Yeah. So like, like if you're looking for like a gross horror movie instead of a scary horror movie, like this is right at the top of the list. So I would definitely recommend people check this out. But I would say watch Road of the Dead and then this movie. Don't just watch this movie.
Yeah.
I want to give this one a 4 as well. I love the cinematography that they were able to do with a little bit of a higher budget. They've got like the neon colors and the flashing lights. I love the cyborg zombie. I'm going to give this thing freaking full points for originality. Like there is nothing else out there like this in the zombie genre. Like this is a standalone crazy ass Australian zombie movie. It cannot be mistaken with any other like genre zombie movie out there ever. And I give it full points for that. We talked about Train to Busan, which is one of the best zombie movies ever made. Like I would put this in the same category as that. It's right up there with 28 Days Later and all these other crazy zombie movies. And then like way down the list is I Am Legend, which is like a weird zombie hybrid vampire movie.
And World War Z.
I hated that movie. I didn't really like that movie that much. But yeah, it's so fun. Go watch it. I want people to support it. And that's why we're lending our voice, our channel, our platform, however,
that's what this week is all about.
Small it might be, with our 6,000 subs or whatever.
I'm like tweeting the shit out of Wyrmwood.
Oh yeah. No, my Instagram is going to be Wyrmwood pretty much all of October. Yeah. So head over there and follow us on Instagram. I'm going to contact the guys over there at Wyrmwood to see if we can do some collaborations and stuff like that. So join us. Join the Wyrmwood train.
Come to Las Vegas and do some skits with us.
Oh, yeah.
We want to do some zombie skits.
Oh, I'm down for some zombie skits. Vegas is prime material. Like,
we just got to go down and get
into the desert.
Some of the crackheads downtown.
the mole
man,
people.
you want to be on my video?
That one studio space that we looked at looked like the apocalypse.
Perfect.
It's like, what do you want me to do? It's like, no, just walk towards the camera.
Yeah, no makeup, nothing.
No, you're
so
good.
mean.
You're good.
All right.
You're gonna be a star, kid.
I'm a dick.
You are a dick, but that's okay. That's why we love you.
Suck your dick for $1.
Too far.
What? Too far?
Roll it back.
Okay.
All right, folks. That's it for Wyrmwood Apocalypse. Thanks for joining us in the comments below. Type in what you think of this movie. Have you seen it? Have you known about it longer than we have? Let us know in the comments. We want to know. We love our Australian friends, and especially our club members who are from Australia. We've got Haas and Aaron and Gasso. Those guys are all from Australia that support us here as club members. thank you guys so much. We hope that we're spreading the word properly about this movie. So V, let's sign off. Where can they find you on the socials?
You can find me at MattVader74 on my account, and also at salty_nerd on Twitter. Yeah,
it's just the name of the podcast.
I know, right?
It's not like it's hard to remember.
The first time he's gotten it right all day.
I know, man.
All right.
Ridiculous. All right.
Jude, where can they find you?
You can find me here on this channel, and you can find me personally at I am Jude Juju on the socials.
All right. Matthew Kadish, take it away.
You can find me at Matthew Kadish, Kadish, on both Twitter and Truth Social. And if you guys are listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please be sure to leave us a 5-star rating, not a review. You can just leave us a rating, just hit those 5 stars. And that really helps us out. We're trying to get to 200 of those suckers so that we can be officially accredited as movie reviewers on Rotten Tomatoes. And if we're officially accredited, we might actually have some weight to help get Wyrmwood 3 made. Yeah. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
All right, folks, that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for being here. Don't forget to comment below, like, subscribe, hit the little bell notification, and share this video with your friends. Spread the word about Wyrmwood. We can't say that enough. It's a fun, amazing, crazy zombie movie. It's perfect for October when this movie or when this video will be released. So make sure you share it around for the Halloween season. All right, folks, thank you so much. Stay salty.